We're thrilled to have welcomed our first grandbaby recently. But growing this precious human hasn't been easy on our daughter. The unrelenting pregnancy fatigue really took it out of her.
One thing that helped was keeping her fluids up, and she loved Rehydrate. Rehydrate is an essential electrolyte drink made by some great guys right here in Brizzy. It's safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding and is like a magical little energy and hydration boost for mum and bub.
If you're growing a little human or are just feeling a little run down, grab some at Coles today.
What it's really about is reflecting on what's happened over the last week and what we can learn so that we can be better parents tomorrow.
It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
G'day, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the author of 6 books about raising happy families, and I'm here on Black Friday, the day that the shopping goes bananas, with my wife, who is very eager to do some shopping. But first, we're going to do this podcast. Mrs. Happy Families, Kylie, smiling at me because she knows what's on that Black Friday shopping list. Hey, before we talk about what's on your list and my list, can I just put in a big plug for what we're doing on Happy Families? We are today only offering 50% off our annual membership.
Wow, that's a sale.
Yeah.
They're the kind I like.
So 50% off, which is unprecedented. We've never done it before. But then again, the membership's only a few months old. And I just really want to emphasize that if you want to take advantage of this, instead of it being $12 a month or $17 a month, it's half that. The value is off the scale.
It's on the membership as well.
Yeah, it's on the membership. And we're offering 50% off everything that's digital, and there's a whole lot of other sales. If you want the info, just go to happyfamilies.com.au or jump onto my Facebook page because we're giving stuff away all day as well.
Wow.
Okay, so Dr. Justin Coulson's
exciting.
Happy Families, it's all there for our Black Friday sale. That's not the purpose of this podcast though, but I did want to mention it because, hey, you know what? If you like what we do, this is the opportunity to dive in there and absolutely clean up. Now, what are we talking about today?
So Friday is our I'll Do Better podcast.
I'll do better tomorrow. Now, I want to be really clear about this podcast. We've kind of this theme. Every Friday we talk about how we're going to do better tomorrow. This isn't necessarily a confession podcast. What it really is, and rather than talking about how we won with the kids or what we lost because we got it all wrong and, telling everyone how good or bad we are as parents, what it's really about is reflecting on what's happened over the last week and what we can learn so that we can be better parents tomorrow or next week. And that's the whole idea of this episode. And I want to go. I always go first, but I'm always so excited to share. Do you want to go first today?
Not at all.
Ladies before gentlemen.
Well, I think that the experiences that each of us are planning on sharing today actually marry up beautifully. So why don't you start?
Okay, I'll go first at your insistence. So on Monday, I was in the office. I felt like I was ahead of my work. I felt like I'd cleared out my inbox. I'd done a whole lot of really big tasks. I was feeling really good. And you actually came to me and said, what time are you knocking off today? And I told you it was going to be a slightly earlier day than normal. And you said, why don't you take one of the kids? And you mentioned which child. You said, why don't you take that child out for a daddy-daughter date this afternoon? I thought it was really weird of you to say that because you don't usually say that, and a Monday afternoon is not a typical daddy-daughter date. And then you said, oh, by the way, she's been Nipper of the Week a couple of times, and here are some vouchers for a burger shop that the kids get a discount. It's free burgers basically. I'll just say it, at Grilled. I mean, grilled burgers are good. They're not sponsored, just putting it out there. We like to have some grilled now and then, but it's a bit of a treat because they're a bit pricier than your average burger. And so you said, here's a couple of vouchers that she's won for being the Nipper of the Week. Why don't you take her down to the Gold Coast? It's about a 50 to 60 minute drive. Take her to Pacific Fair and have a daddy-daughter date with her. And I got in the car with her when she came home from school. We drove down there. We went for a swim for about an hour in the ocean. I mean, it was just beautiful. And once it was done, we went across to Grilled and we ate free burgers, and I bought some other bits and pieces because why wouldn't you? And you know what? It was just such a great night. And I remember as I drove home thinking, this has just been perfect. I feel like I've been an amazing dad. And then it occurred to me, I've only been able to be an amazing dad because of you. You actually set this up for me so that I could look good. It just made me realize, while we can all be amazing from time to time, it's so much easier to be an amazing dad when you've got somebody supporting you and even actively encouraging you to be better or to take the time or to do these things. And so what that really taught me, I guess, the I'll do better tomorrow aspect of this is, if I want to help you to be, if you want to be an amazing mum, my job is to support you in that, to look for ways that I can help you to have those kinds of high quality interactions with the kids, to make those suggestions, to deal with a bunch of other children so you can go and have those moments. And I don't know that I'm sure that we've done these things before, but having the intention to do that is something that I think is kind of new. And you taught me that over this last week, and I'm so grateful for it. That's my big moment. That's my aha. I can do better tomorrow, because we get to be better when the people around us support us. Oh, and I got to quickly mention, there are some people who don't have that level of support. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. It just means that it's a little bit more challenging. So I just want to flag that. I don't want this to be I'm a single parent and I can't do it. That's not really what I'm getting at. We've just got to, so easy for me to say, but we've got to find ways that we can lean on other people or just make that intention to be amazing.
So you've made me sound like I'm awesome.
Because you are.
But the reality is that on Monday, that was actually a pretty tricky situation for me to find myself in. We had a family meeting on Sunday because the household was not functioning very well. And we sat down with the kids and we reassessed the chore chart and got them all on top of everything. And come Monday, the kids were amazing, like amazing.
Yeah.
They woke up, they were out of bed, dressed and ready for school before I think I even walked out my bedroom door. They just nailed it on the head.
Yep, they did.
And so come Monday afternoon, one of our children, the child that you chose to take out,
our nipper of the week, she's been stretching me as a mum in some really challenging ways lately. And I could see how hard she had tried on Monday to just be the awesome kid I know she can be. But because I felt stretched by her at the moment, I'm really struggling to connect with her in the way I know I should and want to. And so I knew that it was really important for her to know that she was seen and valued. I'm going to cry. But I couldn't give that to her in that moment because I didn't feel I could do it genuinely and authentically. And so the only way I could help her to know that she was loved and valued was to rely on your heart that is just so authentically turned towards our children in some of their most challenging moments, to give her what I couldn't in that moment. And it was a really, really tough space for me to find myself in. And I have from time to time as a mum found myself there with different children for different reasons. But I was so grateful that you took a leap when I gave you the opportunity to do that, because I couldn't. So you feel like I was able to make you out to be a great dad because I provided this opportunity for you to do something beautiful with our child. And I feel like you gave me the space that I needed to work through what I was dealing with and give her what I couldn't. And it ended up being perfect for both of us.
It did.
Not just that, but it ended up being the kind of experience that both of us, without talking to one another about it, decided, that's what we're going to talk about on Friday. Because it was just one of those, when we live with intention in our family, we have those moments. So awesome. Hey, let's come back in a sec and talk about a couple of other things that are important for the podcast, and maybe a bit more about Black Friday and some feedback, and then we'll wrap things up.
It's the Happy Families Podcast.
Are Screens Creating Tension at Home? Tweens, Teens and Screens is a webinar to guide families to healthy, safe super screen solutions. Buy it today at happyfamilies.com.au/shop.
It's the Happy Families Podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers. Now, hello, Dr. Justin Coulson here with Kylie, Mrs. Happy Families, talking about how we're going to do better tomorrow and how we can learn from our experiences this week as parents so that we can, do better tomorrow or do better next week. Hey, as always, we love to talk about the feedback that we receive through the various ways that you can communicate with us. You can send us an email via podcasts, that's podcasts with an S, at happyfamilies.com.au, or you can jump onto Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, preferably Apple Podcasts, and leave a rating and review. And Honey Bun, we just got a brand new one that's just popped through from TBK Wills, I think it says. Can you share this 5-star rating and review?
Justin and Kylie, I find your short podcasts fantastic. They are a kind of daily parent meditation, encouraging me each day to reflect on how I parent and how I would like to parent. I am by no means perfect, and I want to be a better parent. Thanks for your help. I have 4 kids, the eldest of whom is 14, and I wish I had had this resource back when he was very little. I hope it's never too late.
I wish that we'd had this resource back when our eldest was little as well. We're all in the same boat there. We really love getting your ratings and reviews come through on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people to find the podcast and make their families happier. So thank you so much for sending that one through. It really does mean a tremendous amount. Black Friday sale. I mentioned it at the start of the podcast. I'm going to mention it again. All of our resources, huge discounts today only. In fact, well, I think some of them are this weekend, but today only for the Happy Families membership. You can get it for 50% off today only. Go to happyfamilies.com.au or shoot across to our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families. The Happy Families podcast is produced, as always, by Justin Roulon from Bridge Media, and our executive producer is Craig Bruce. If you'd like more information about how we can help your family flourish, well, the Black Friday sale is the way to do it. happyfamilies.com.au.
And just before we leave, if you're wondering what's for dinner,
Always,
then definitely check in with us on Monday because we've got an episode for you.
have a great weekend.